After watching these videos, they inspired me to make a device that could be used for multiple installs for trailers, sheds, van life, campers, etc. I wanted to build something that was a little bit cheaper, a little bit smaller. I feel that Goal Zero kind of set the standard with a lot of their power stations. So I figured I better look up their specs. They've made Time Magazine. But I need to look at their specs and see what I had to build to beat for the price. Today on Amazon, on the internet, I was able to find this for, $200. There's the specs that need to be. We got to build something better than this, or at least as good for the same price, and that's going to be really tough to do. This is the final cost on our device. We're about $250, and we do have that extra fuse in there. And there's a little bit more goodie package in the end, the way things balance out. Let me show you. So we're back here looking at their spec sheet again. You can see the charge times. We at least do all that. Well, I've got 6 USB ports. I've also got 10 amps, 120 watt max on solar charging input. And then if you go ahead and look at the output here, they've got 120 watt max, and we're doing that on our 12 volt plug. The 2 USBs that are attached are all 5 volt 2 amps as well, with all 6 ports. When I go look at their inverter, 160 watt surge, 80 watt continuous, we're outputting 120 watts continuous because 12 volts with a 10 amp fuse. So we're kind of doing quite a bit more. That Renogy claims that they have you fuse it at 10 amps at 12 volts. So we're able to charge quite a bit more too. And we're also an AGM battery, but we're a 35 amp hour battery. So we've, almost tripled that. Here's the device. Here's what it looks like. Now I realize that the battery is also not integrated, so the box is super light. So you have to carry 2 packages, but the battery could also be strapped to the side of a battery or put, attached to the top of a battery box. But if you take a look, we've also got a switch for the inverter to turn it on and off. That enter switch on the Renogy Wanderer, also on setting 15, turns the orange light on and off, and it also parallel controls the 5 volt 2 amp outputs there. So there's switches. One of the other cool things is on the Wanderer, if you change and you look up in the instruction manual, there is multiple settings, and you can do timed on and off on these ports. So not only do we just have the ports, they're also timed. So you have a button to turn an extra port on and off, as well as a timer. So that's kind of cool. And this has Bluetooth capability on the RS-232, but that would add another $40. But then you could monitor a lot of things going on with the charge controller. So take a look at this, and you see the MC4 down on the far right and the SAA wire harness. You can see that we're also able to plug in directly to any standard solar panel, so we don't have this special fitting. So there's some different features that are a little bit different, and in a lot of ways a little bit better, in my opinion, than that 150 Goal Zero, which is a really nice unit, but they are the standard to beat, and we are $50 more. But that extra $50, there's a huge amount of features that are added into this control, as well as a higher solar charging capability. I have the P1 hooked up to a 12 volt battery, and this is test 1 to see if it will charge a Ryobi battery. Let's go ahead and install that battery, and I'm going to turn on the power inverter. Inverter's on, and flashing green lights indicate that this is charging. Here's a good example of what the P1 might look like installed on a battery box. It'd be kind of handy to just screw it down or zip tie it down to a battery box like that. Put your battery in there, and you could put it in a tent trailer or in a shed. And then you've got solar charging, you've got a battery, there's flashlights that are, integrated onto the side of this thing. And all in all, it's a good little unit to have AC and DC available, and to be able to take that little box and just do whatever you want. So in the end, I haven't made a video that shows 100% of the install, but most of it is done. And hopefully if enough people get interested in this thing, I'll finish up a wiring schematic and help people out if they have questions and want to build one. Anyways, thanks for watching.